broadcasting live from the University of North Texas. Coming up.
This phenom has many watching and even more talking. We have a couple of reactions.
Time to start your morning with Let's Talk North Texas.
It's Wednesday, April 19th. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk North Texas. I'm Shelby Trahan.
And I'm Trey Webster. We start today with a tragic developing story. Ex-New England Patriot player Aaron Hernandez was found dead in his cell at 3 a.m. Hernandez was recently convicted for the murder of Odin Lloyd and acquitted in a separate double homicide. Authorities say Hernandez was found hanging in his cell, where he was later transferred to a hospital and pronounced dead. Former President George H.W. Bush has been hospitalized due to a persistent cough that was preventing him from getting proper rest. According to a statement from Bush's office, doctors treated Bush for pneumonia, which has been resolved. The statement concludes by stating, quote, "President Bush is in very good spirits and is being held for further observation while he regains his strength."
A chase that started at a McDonald's finally ended on Tuesday thanks to an honorable employee. NTTV's JC Mask has more.
The public was instrumental in bringing this investigation to a successful conclusion.
After an almost 48-hour manhunt, police in Erie, Pennsylvania got the tip that investigators nationwide were hoping for. Steven Stevens was spotted.
There was a short pursuit in which the vehicle was stopped. As the officers approached that vehicle, Steve Stevens took his own life. We are grateful to the people that gave this tip to the Pennsylvania State Police. We're grateful that this has ended.
Police wanted to capture Stevens alive because there are still so many unanswered questions. Police say Sunday, Stevens shot and killed Robert Goodwin Sr. as the 74-year-old walked home from an Easter meal. Police say Stevens posted video of the killing on Facebook. Since then, Facebook has been facing mounting criticism over its live and streaming services. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg addressed the company's efforts to help develop safer communities during his F8 keynote address.
Our hearts go out to the family and friends of Robert Godwin Sr. And we have a lot of work, and we will keep doing all we can to prevent tragedies like this from happening.
Zuckerberg says Facebook has a responsibility to make sure the site is not a tool for spreading video of violent acts. JC Mask, NTTV News.
Now let's take a look at this morning's report. Katie?
Thanks, Shelby. A story is still developing as a Fresno man known for advocating black separatism and making militant comments shot and killed 3 people in downtown Fresno before surrendering to authorities and uttering the phrase Allahu Akbar, meaning Allah is the greatest. The suspect was identified as Corey Ali Muhammad, a 39-year-old man who had already been wanted in connection with the shooting death of a security guard outside of a motel Thursday. Fresno police said the most recent victims were white men, and 2 of which were clients of a local Catholic charity. They were leaving the building as they were shot. And as the discussion of the bathroom bill continues, Texas legislators have a lot to consider. According to a new study, if Texas were to ban transgender people from public bathrooms, it could cost the economy $3.3 billion and over 35,000 jobs. The study comes as Texas lawmakers consider a revamped version of the bill that would require transgender Texans to use the restroom that matches their birth gender due to be proposed legislation. Nearly a dozen large meetings and sporting events have threatened to leave the state. The study estimates any type of bathroom bill related. The bill could damage tourism and cost jobs, as these regulations are viewed as discriminatory, and could also make Texas seem like an unfriendly state. And the Texas Senate is considering a bill that will allow paramedics and other first responders, including volunteer firefighters, to carry handguns. If passed, the bill would require first responders to get the usual concealed handgun license, plus an extra 20 hours of training on tactical response, shooting, and how to seek and cover. And on a stranger note, a Houston family woke up to an unexpected guest this morning on their front porch. After the Houston flood, an alligator was casually strolling around a Richmond suburb and eventually cornered itself on one family's porch. Deputies and animal control were called and eventually captured the gator, but not after the gator put up a good fight. Luckily, only the porch chair was harmed during the process. Now, Shelby, what would you do if you had a gator on your front porch?
Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't imagine walking out and seeing a huge alligator just sitting there.
Oh my goodness, that is something
Terrifying.
else.
Yes.
Man, I tell you what, all I would do is probably just call, do what they did, just call the authorities, just
Lock the door.
Yes.
Get the right people there.
Go back inside.
I would not know how to handle that situation.
Definitely.
And he put up a pretty good fight.
He did. Well, for now, let's go over to Sarah Scarlett to check on our weather.
Well, if we look at our current conditions right now, it's going to be pretty warm this morning. It's 68 degrees, partly cloudy, but by this afternoon, we're going to see those clouds clear up a little bit, and we're going to get up to 80 degrees, and our humidity is going to stay pretty high at 61%. Coming up next, I'll have your weekend forecast. Back to you, Shelby and Trey.
Thanks, Sarah. Coming up, we take an inside look on Netflix's new hit show.
And find out about the new Texas map that has many talking. Stay tuned.
What is creativity?
The ability to probe into something you don't know, to answer questions previously not answered.
And resist the temptation to say what everybody else has said.
Using the different mediums, combining the different mediums.
It's taking what we have and reassembling it and using it in a different manner.
Describes what free people do.
It has something to do with dreaming. It's actually what life's all about.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
13 Reasons Why has been the latest craze on everyone's lips. The Netflix original holds nothing back when it comes to the struggles of high school life and has launched a discussion of young adult suicide. Tonight, Breedlove takes an inside look on the discussion.
I don't usually listen to sophomore gossip, but for what it's worth, that list got it right.
That was a clip from 13 Reasons Why, a new Netflix series that has launched a topical conversation, young adult suicide.
My personal opinion from not only a parent is that it was one that was very impactful and that also resonates with what teens and young kids and also some adults can actually identify with. But also as a clinician, this is something that I see on a day-to-day basis.
Young adult suicide numbers have tripled over recent months. Even 1 in 10 college students have plans to commit suicide. We discussed with UNT students how they feel.
As like why no one's seen that this girl was struggling, why all these people are still like watching her and watching others struggle even though she killed herself, and no one seems to want to react about it. No one seems to want to face the fact that they could have been a possibility of why she committed suicide. So I'm a little confused about it.
Like there's a lot of social pressure to be something you're not sometimes. There's all the magazines and social media, and there's all this image that all these kids want to compete for. And I feel like sometimes people get lost in that, and they lose who they think they are and who they want to be. And sometimes it can just make them not, engage in the world anymore.
me, I am alone, no one understands me, and I think that when you throw in those thoughts with all of the thoughts that puberty and growing up and trying to become who you're meant to be, it can be very confusing, and I think when it comes down to it, people feel like they're alone.
Take what people say so to heart, I guess, and just seek help, and because there's a lot of places that offer that help, and to just do their best to try and find friends, find someone to help them in that kind of situation.
I always feel like I'm wasting people's time, and so I would tell people that you're not a waste of time. Like, your story is important, and your story is not finished yet, and you have so many things to live for, and that you're loved, and hope is possible, and rescue is possible.
If you or someone you know is battling with suicidal thoughts, contact the UNT Counseling Services or the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. I'm Tanaya Breedlove with NT TV News.
There are close to 40,000 students on UNT's campus, and 2 of our students are making a difference, one student at a time. Let's check in with Jay Jackson for the details.
Thanks, Shelby. So I'm here with UNT couple and community leaders Joshua Alpar and Charmisha Gori. They're the founders of Groceries Giveaway, a new initiative tackling student hunger here on campus. Thank you all for coming today.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about Groceries Giveaway and how and why you got started.
Yeah, Groceries Giveaway started because we saw a need in the community. I want to give back. It's something that's really, really dear to our hearts, because growing up, as a freshman in college, we didn't have much at all. And, when you go to the food bank, the food court is great, but we got canned foods, and things like that. And we really wanted to focus on healthy living. So we go into the stores and get fresh fruits, and also target the students who actually need these things and help them so they don't get back in the situation that we were in freshman year. So that's about it.
What does a student need to do in order to get from Groceries Giveaway?
It's a pretty simple process. They just fill out an application. The application is actually pinned to our profile on Twitter at Groceries Give, and we also have it on our email. So you can email us at grocriesgiveaway@gmail.com, and we can email that application back to you. It's just a short amount of questions, and we also have a section where we offer prayer requests, so you can actually submit a prayer request and we'll be praying for you. We just wanted to incorporate the Christian aspect to it.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Like they said, if you would like to know more about Groceries Giveaway, you can check out twitter.com/grocriesgive. Back to you, Trey.
Hoping to leave their positive mark on campus. This international student hopes to encourage other foreign students to succeed on campus.
The University of North Texas is home to one of the most culturally diverse universities in the nation. With over 2,500 students from 129 countries, it's impossible to miss the many languages spoken all around campus. To celebrate the spectrum of cultures, Global Citizens Month will host events throughout the month of April to showcase the various cultures at UNT. As an international student from China, Rentian Tang is enjoying his first year studying mechanical and energy engineering.
This always my mom told me, the college education in America is super good.
Rentian has proven that not all stereotypes portrayed in the movies of American universities are true.
It's not a party for every day, maybe party for every week, but a lot of people also spend a lot of time in the library studying all the time.
With over hundreds of organizations to choose from at UNT, international students take this opportunity to immerse themselves in the American culture.
I joined an organization, it's called ASB, Alternative Spring Break. I went there and everybody for the first day, they share their story. For me, there's no tragedy. For the last 19 years, I just living a happy life. Here, the children are more independent. In China, they follow the step, their parents have made for them and they just follow it. But for Americans, they just go their own way for their future.
International students make many sacrifices for their education as they say goodbye to their friends and family and adapt to a new culture with new faces and new hopes.
If you don't go to an environment with the English speakers, you cannot really use English so naturally. I met different people, totally different from different culture, different values for the world, just totally different.
And how important is it for Bruntian to make others know about the Chinese culture?
I want to set up my own organization, Chinese organization. Yeah, I see a lot of people super interested in Chinese culture. They want to learn Mandarin, Chinese. It's a good chance to spread our Chinese culture right here. It's super interesting. Also, you guys love my food.
I'm Marcela Sanchez for NTTV News.
Coming up, Evan Moore is in studio for an exclusive performance.
And a hit 2000 show is making a return.
And I'll let you know your weekend forecast. Coming up next, stay with us.
Earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake, and you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
Well, it looks like Texas weather isn't the only thing heating up this week.
No, it isn't. A map posted by BuzzFeed Austin has many North Texans angry at the lack of representation for Dallas-Fort Worth. As you can see on the map, Arlington's Six Flags Over Texas is posted above Denton. BuzzFeed acknowledged the criticism on Twitter saying, quote, "We know Texans take their geography very seriously, but the little map has just for fun." Well, at least BuzzFeed did not forget about Denton, describing us as the city of beards.
Well, Trey, that's a really interesting story.
It really is. Well, let's see what's going on with the weather. Sarah, how are we doing?
Well, Shelby and Trey, if we look across the Metroplex right now, we're mostly in the 60s. It's cloudy across all of North Texas right now. And tomorrow, we're not going to see much of a change. We're still going to be, in the 70s. There's going to be some cities that are in the 60s, such as Decatur and Weatherford, and Fort Worth is going to have the high at 72. If we look at our 5-day forecast, on Wednesday, we're going to have a high of 82, and then on Thursday, we're going to have a high of 82 as well. And then on Friday, we have a chance of scattered thunderstorms, so stay tuned to NTTV for any updates that we have about that thunderstorm. And then on Saturday, we're actually going to have a cold front move in, and we're going to see temperatures with a high of just 70 and a low of 49. And on Sunday, we're actually going to have a very pretty day. It's going to be sunny. We're going to have a high of 72 and a low of 46. Shelby and Trey, back to you.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, Shelby, I hear we have a special treat in the studio today.
Yes, one of them is our local music talent. Let's send it over to Brittany Davis and Evan.
Thanks, guys. I'm here now with local performer Evan Moore. Thank you, Evan, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I have a couple questions for you. How did you start performing?
Well, I always knew how to play guitar, but I didn't really ever write anything. I only ever started writing until someone told me that I could change the world just like Bob Dylan. And it was very bizarre, but I was like, well, I might as well try it, you know?
Wow, it's very impactful. It's
Yeah.
nice to hear for sure. I want to know, what is your writing process? What inspires you to write what you do?
Usually it starts with a phrase or it starts with a concept. I don't really like to just go into a song all willy-nilly. I like to have a certain phrase I use over again or a certain idea going into each verse and chorus. And sometimes I don't even have an idea until it just hits me out of nowhere.
Okay, and you're going to be performing a song for us today, right?
Yes. I'm performing a song that'll be dedicated to San Bernardino Elementary School as well as the victims of the Facebook killer.
Well, we cannot wait to hear that, but we have a lot of other stuff coming up. Coming up, we've got something that might scare you, but in a good way. Plus, a celebrity couple splits, and the University of North Texas demonstrates what they are all about.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Carmelo Anthony and Lala Anthony are no more. The New York Knicks player and TV personality have called it quits after a 6-year engagement and 7-year marriage. They also have a 10-year-old son together. The buzz is that Carmelo is expecting a child with another woman, and Lala Anthony found out and won't tolerate it. The split was amicable, and that is all we can hope for the two celebrities and their son. Snakes, maggots, heights, oh my. What do all of these things have in common? They've all been challenges on Fear Factor. Fear Factor was a show that dealt with contestants facing their fears for a big sum of money. Fear Factor has been on hiatus since 2006, even though it had a short reboot in 2011. The host for both times the show aired was Joe Rogan, but times have changed. The reboot this time is different. Fast and Furious alum Ludacris will be taking some lucky contestants through their fears for a cash prize. The show will take a new spin because they intend on targeting fears that are more for millennials. Fear Factor will air on May 30th of this year. UNT is all about the green, and I'm not talking about money. UNT will be holding Earth Fest, which will be in celebration of International Earth Day. They will have live entertainment, international food, and activities for the students. The event is free for students with a UNT ID. Earthfest will be taking place on April 20th at the Library Mall from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So come join us for some mean green fun. Back to you, Shelby and Trey.
Thanks, Brittany, and thank you for watching Let's Talk North Texas this semester.
See you next semester. Stay tuned for new news, but before we leave, let's check out Evan Moore performing.
Again, as I said, this one goes out to San Bernardino Elementary School. It is called Vacant Seat. There were 15 people missing graduation. All because they lost their lives. Two men with ill minds and guns in their hands, the murderers of Columbine. In the audience I see one seat empty. Meant for a grandfather oh so proud.
But neither he nor the grandson are there to sit, 'cause the grandson shot 'em both down. Oh, I see another 33 seats empty. All because of a lonely man who, with depression resting upon his mind, his treatment was murder by his hand. Instead of 20 kids going on to middle school, oh, now, God, they rest in the ground. All 'cause a man had no friends or family, just guns, guns all around. At the wedding reception, there's a hush in the air. 47 seats go unused, and the two grooms are absent too, 'cause a man bought her.
What is creativity?
The ability to probe into something you don't know, to answer questions previously not answered.
And resist the temptation to say what everybody else has said.
Using the different mediums, combining the different mediums.
It's taking what we have and reassembling it and using it in a different manner.
Describes what free people do.
It has something to do with dreaming. It's actually what life's all about.